Hey guys, can you guys hear? This is so ghetto. This is so ghetto. This is not gonna work. Wait. Um, period. Okay, so you guys can hear me, right? How is the audio? I'm actually using my mom's headset. Um, and I am hoping that you guys can hear me and that we can survive this really ghetto stream that is about to take place. All right, audio is good. All right, so let's get into this quickly, right? I wish I could come on camera, but like I'm not gonna purchase another camera while I'm in Atlanta because I have like 5 cameras, DSLR, and all kinds of cameras in DC, and I didn't bring it. I was not supposed to be on this trip for this long, but it's all coming together, right? All right. Uh, Themis is blessing us with a laughing start. We hear you, Themis. I'm out walking, so audio works for me too. All right, great. There will be some show and tell going on, but we're going to start by talking about Tasha K. I was not going to do this video. I was not going to talk about this case until I saw Tasha K's video. And in that video, I realized that she is unwilling or unable to take accountability for her action. Now, Tasha K for me is a different kind of person. Welcome, everyone, by the way. I apologize, I'm not on screen. It is what it is. We just get it today. Tasha is a different kind of person. She is, I think, very good at what she does if what she does is raking up mess. Um, and I saw for Harriet today talking about how Tasha K's au- audio, the visuals, all of that is really good. And I agree. I think Tasha K presents a really good platform where I aspire to up my production in the future to her level. And I will not take from her the kind of work that she has put into her platform. Now, if you know me, you know the way that I'm speaking implies that it's not good. This commentary that I'm going to give on what is happening is not going to be favorable to Tasha K. Um, Tasha K, for example, was the person who kind of exposed Derek Jackson. And we all sort of came together and said, yeah, we're going to just reject this person because he is a bad person, right? I recognize after I started digging into Tasha K's video that might not be the content creator for me, right? Not that she's bad or anything, it was just not for me. And even while I supported her in the Derek Jackson expose kind of content creation that she did, I recognized quite quickly after that I was not going to be a fan of Tasha K any longer because right then she went on to talk to um, Mr. Let Go. Let me show you. I'm not going to play any of these videos, but let's just. So Tasha K went to speak to Derek Jackson, right? Not Derek Jackson, Kevin Samuels. Tasha K spoke to Kevin Samuels, and then she spoke to Mr. Let Go. And it was really unfortunate, I think, that in a moment where she got to speak to these men and talk about their philosophies instead of holding their feet to the fire, she essentially just said, yes, I agree with you, these women need to be taught X, Y, and Z, and us women need to be blah, blah, blah. And in that moment, I realized that Tasha K is someone that is going to do what she must in an effort to grow her platform. I am not saying there's anything wrong with this in that moment, but there has to be a level of credibility, accountability, and ethics that comes with the ways in which you either cover news or interview people. Now, I, as a person who does not have the kind of social media following that Tasha K has, cannot come on here to try to opine about how to grow your platform or anything like that. But I do believe that there has to be something fundamental about the way in which we engage with chaos that even as a content creator, knowing that drama and chaos and conflict sells, even knowing that, we have to be able to monitor how far we will go in order to quote go viral, right? And make that quote YouTube check. Ethics is important, morality is important. And before I even go any further into this, let me say I hope that you guys do attempt to hold me accountable, right? Whenever I'm on and whatever I do, even when I get to whatever amount of subscriber I get to, accountability is important. And I'm going to talk now about some things that Tasha K did that I did not appreciate when it comes to this case. Um, Thank you, JavaScript. So I promise you, I did not follow this case. I knew that it was going to be a mess, but I did not follow it. I did not follow it because I did not think Tasha K would do what people were alleging she did. And then when I got some videos before she took them down, most of which I cannot play, when she the fact that she made over 40 videos on Cardi B, the fact that she allegedly, because she removed these videos, she allegedly admits to making stories up, or at least knowing that the lady she was interviewing was lying and that she did it to go viral. I even went as far back as 4 years ago when her and Lovely T were friends and they are no longer friends because of this incident. I don't know what's happening to them, right? So it's interesting watching all of this play out now, realizing that Tasha K had ample opportunity to correct the record, right? She had ample opportunity to really investigate what it is that she's doing and step up to the plate and own up to what she was doing. And even after the verdict was handed down, she still, and this is why I'm making the video, and we'll get into what she actually said, because she left from over 1 million subscriber to losing a ton and still losing a ton. I don't know if this is going to break her platform. I hope it doesn't, but I recognize that even if it doesn't, that she there has to be a repercussion, and that that 4 mil is a huge repercussion, right? So let's continue. I'm not a fan of Cardi B. I'm not a fan of the kinds of music that hip hop generally is pushing out, right? And it's not because I care, right? It's not because I care that these women and men are being extremely vulgar and there's no poetry in the music anymore. It's because it feels like there's only one note. So this is not in any way a defense of Cardi B's behavior. We've heard Cardi B come on line talking about how she drugged men and robbed them and all of that stuff. And there were little to no repercussion to her action. And while we can agree that a lot of what is being promoted by Cardi B is abhorrent, it is negative essentially, and it's something that we as a society should ultimately reject, in my opinion, right? We can accept that while accepting that Tasha K is not right. What Tasha K did was not right. Tasha K again made about 40 videos regarding Cardi B, then allegedly made a public statement acknowledging that some of the stories she was putting out, some of the interviews she was doing with that lady, I think Star Marie was her name, she knew it wasn't true and she did it to go viral. Now, I'm going to play a very small portion of a young lady who explained in some detail some things that Tasha K admitted to while she was in court. So this is what Tasha K had to allegedly said her testimony.
So this is not looking good at all, you guys. It's really not. As for
By the way, can you guys hear her? Please let me know if you can hear her, because again, I don't know what's happening.
whether or not Cardi B tried to, resolve the situation with Tasha outside of the court, yes, it has been known. Tasha had been saying it herself on her stream, but then it was also confirmed again in court that Cardi B had messaged Tasha publicly saying that the videos she made about her were not true. And then privately, they had a conversation about it. And Tasha K told Cardi that the only way that she was going to kind of like hear her out was if Cardi went on her YouTube channel where she would monetize the interview and refuted the claims. But then Cardi told her that she couldn't do that because it would only make the story bigger, and her management team wouldn't even let her do that for that reason as well. And that is the moment where it seems like Tasha K's vendetta against Cardi was born, according to the way the story was told in court, per Dennis. When it comes to how damages are going to be calculated in this situation,
All right. I mean, everyone saw how damages were calculated. The judge was not playing with her. There was punitive damage. Like at this point, Tasha K said she's not strapped for cash. She can afford it. I'm hoping that she can. Um, Actually, let me read this. The day Lovelady posted the truth and Tasha still chose to run with the lie was the day we saw Tasha for who she was. I can't stand Cardi and I will never support her, but 40 hate videos, geez. Yeah, and that's part of the issue, right? I remember, and I don't, let me be careful here because I don't want to kick back up the Lovely T versus Tasha K drama. I think both women uh, kind of got past that. And for all it's worth, like I can appreciate Lovely T and Cardi B. I'm getting a bit tangential right now, right? Um, I can appreciate them separately for the tremendous impact that they've had as Black creators in this space where Black creators don't generally get the kinds of shine in the blog sphere that they deserve. And they do break a lot of news and they do work hard. And a lot of the times they don't get the kinds of recognition that they deserve. And I mean, I can remember Tasha K's Derek Jackson's news when the Breakfast Club reported it. They essentially said some blogger, and they did not name her, right? And so those kind of underhanded approach to taking people's work tend to happen to Black content creators in that sphere. They're not my community is fine, but in those sphere, it's really really bad. And so. I just wanted to point that out. This is not to rehash and relitigate what happened between Tasha K and Lovely T, because that was a huge drama that I didn't even care about, but I was very aware of. So I recognize both women as really real titans in the YouTube kind of gossip sphere, right? Now, when I heard this, I thought Tasha K about the case. I thought Tasha K was going to use discovery, right, to uncover whether or not Cardi B had herpes, essentially, which she didn't. But I thought that's what she was going to do. And when they found out that she didn't, then they would settle, right? Now, this is not a good thing. You should not be using the court and the system, the judicial system, as a way to uncover information for you to report. But it seems like even after Tasha K found out how wrong she was, she didn't stop. She didn't settle. And she didn't apologize. And Cardi B sent a bunch of cease and desists. Cardi B reached out. Cardi B told her it wasn't true. Lovely T told her it wasn't true. And she continued to perpetuate the foolishness. So I don't understand why she did it from a sort of moral perspective, from a business perspective. I get it. I get why she did it, even though she could have stopped, right? Now, one could say this is due to arrogance. I'm not going to say that yet, but I mean, it is essentially what it feels like. Now, we're going to talk about defamation in a minute and why I thought Cardi B did not have a case initially until literally every single one of my attorney friends who I talked to about it, because I mean, the legal aspect is quite fascinating when we're thinking about First Amendment and the limits of First Amendment and defamation, the rules for defamation, and how you prove or disprove a case, right? So when we think about defamation, we generally and this is the interesting part, right? Because when we think about it in terms of everyday sort of understanding of defamation, to prove a prima facie case of defamation, literally you have to show four things, right? That there was a false statement that purported to be a fact, that it was communicated in negligence, that's the third one, and then four, that it caused some damage, right? Simple enough. This is the defamation we all know. However, because of the Sullivan case, I don't know if you guys know about the Sullivan case. Let me put this on the screen so you guys have something to look at. I did go find this. I don't know if you can see it. Let me try to zoom in. Okay, the zoom up there it is. All right, it's not going to get any better. I apologize. All right. So the Sullivan case essentially heightened the standard if you're a celebrity, right? If you're a public figure, it is very difficult, extremely difficult to win a case for defamation. The reason is you need a thing called actual malice. Now we can read this. The Sullivan court stated that actual malice means that the defendant said the defamatory statement with knowledge that it was false or with reckless disregard of whether it was false or not. Essentially, you have to prove that there's malice. And this is not an easy thing to prove. Like it might sound easy to a lot of people, but it's not. If you're in the courtroom, you can say, well, I thought it was real and I reported it. Now, depending on what court you're in, you're likely to pass, but it's very difficult. It is extraordinarily difficult for a public figure to win a defamation case and actual malice is hard to prove. Now, tell me why Tasha K admitted. Like, I'm so confused. You have a case where it's very difficult. Oh, you sound a bit under the weather. I am a bit under the weather. But being behind an avatar actually makes me feel powerful. So like I'm hidden. I could be doing anything right now, and it's pretty. I probably should do more of these, but put a one if I should do more audio only because you don't want to see my face, and put a two if I should continue to do my video lives. Anywho, while you do the ones and two, and I literally already forgot what the one means and what the two means, so I'm the worst. All right, so this is what happened, which makes it very, very difficult for Tasha K to win. All right, you guys don't vote. I only see twos. Again, here this is what Tasha K confessed to.
Way somehow. One of the biggest bombs that Dennis dropped in the interview was that Tasha K allegedly admitted in court that she knowingly lied when she reported that rapper Cardi B had a beer bottle in her vagina and that she had herpes. She allegedly also claimed that she knew she was lying, but she did it anyway because she knew that she would make money off of those stories. Dennis also
Now, if you're Tasha K, I'm just, I don't understand how you are going. Like, the standard is clear. Your burden of proof is clear. Like, this is clear. What attorney is going to have you admit, understand, that you knew when you were stating this that it was not true? I wish you guys could see my face. Like, I feel like it's not giving the full effect right now because I am so confused as to why any attorney would do that. Like, and I'm not blaming the attorney. Like, the truth is the truth. I mean, not my client, but the truth. The truth is the truth. It is what it is. It is what it is. But like, you admit to one of the hardest elements to prove in a defamation case against a public figure. You admit, so they no longer have to prove this because you just gave it to them on a silver platter. I don't know if you were even trying to win the case at this point. Like, it just feels like you decided, you know what, I'm just gonna not, right? Now, let me put this up just so you guys can see, because I'm not gonna go through uh, the amount because it is horrendous. In any case, we're thinking about this from a different perspective now. Like, the reason I'm doing this live is not because of the verdict. It's not because of the case. Like, if you would be a hypocrite if you are a Tasha K viewer. You know what Tasha K does, right? So if you are a viewer, a subscriber of Tasha K, and you are now upset with her and you left because you believe that what she did was wrong, I am looking at you sideways. And the reason I'm looking at you sideways, I don't even actually use that phrase in my everyday life, but the reason I'm doing that is this is nothing new. Like, it's not like people didn't watch all 40 videos she made of Cardi B. Like, she put them out, you guys watch, not you guys, but people watch, and now everyone is saying, oh my God, she's a bad person. Well, she's been that person. Like, that is the person who made the videos that we consume, and now everyone is unsubscribing from her because well, we'll get into her video because I think it warrants some review. Right. The first question I have regarding Tasha K's video, this video right here. I'm not gonna play her video because apparently she's known for striking people. But um, the first thing I want to ask is who wrote the statement? We know the statement was written because she was reading it. So someone sat down and wrote her a statement. She is reading the statement, and no one saw anything wrong with that before she hit publish. I don't know why that is because that was a mess, right? The truth is we're all human, right? Like, I see Tasha K, I see a human being. We are not perfect. No one is perfect. It would be odd to expect complete accuracy from Tasha K, and not some level of sort of trash she sort of content creation. Based on my assessment, the followers would be some of the biggest hypocrites. Like, Tasha K's followers would be some of the biggest hypocrites for turning their backs on her because of the verdict. Now, I'll explain why I think it's okay to be like, okay, I'm going to unsubscribe. But if it's the verdict that you read and you decided, oh, she was wrong, I'm done, if it took you reading the verdict to say she was wrong, no, I believe you're a hypocrite. Like, that's my opinion. After watching her all this time, now when the court decided that what she did was bad is when people turned their backs. No, I know why I turned my back, but that's not why. Now, her statement, however, if after you watched her statement you decided, okay, no, I can't rock with Tasha K anymore, then okay, I get that. Because the statement lacks any accountability. So that people get to turn away from you. Like, there was literally no accountability in her statement. And I wrote some parts of it down that I want to talk about. I wish she had owned what she did, right? I wish she had said, I said what I said, I was wrong, now I have to pay up this money, and it is what it is, right? Someone said Tasha K went MLK with the video. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh God, I do have to talk about that. Right. So let's look at the video now. Let's go to the video. I'm not gonna play it because again, Tasha K. Um, I just don't want to play anyone's video right now except O'Shea Duke Jackson in a minute. Um, Tasha K said, for the past 4 years, she was fighting and challenging people and a machine trying to take her down, but that she would not, hear this, she would not change anything. Okay, now I have a problem. And this is where I knew this was going to be some foolishness. The first statement out of your mouth cannot be after you are going to have to pay $3.8 million to Cardi B. The first statement out of your mouth cannot be that you would not change anything about what happened. I think there's a lot you would want to change. Um, the fact that you plan on appealing and you're in the process of appealing the verdict means that you would change the verdict. At the bare minimum, you would change the verdict. That's the bare minimum, right? You would probably change the video where you confess to knowing that this was bad and that you were doing this to go viral and that Cardi B does not deserve fame. Like you probably would change those because those were used against you. Um, you would change the video um, saying that Cardi doesn't deserve fame, like you just would. Maybe you would have settled out of court when you went through discovery and Cardi B submitted and found that she did not have what you alleged she had. You probably could have settled there. Maybe that's something you could have changed. Um, you probably could have want to change your lawyers. You might want to change your lawyers. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot you could have changed, but the fact that you open the fact that you opened your video that was supposed to be about accountability with that you would not change a thing and the fight is still going is a problem. She then went on to say something to the effect of um, the machine wanted to attack her because they called her bluff. She called their bluff, and they're trying to bully her for not wavering from her personal beliefs. Now, I don't know what personal beliefs you're talking about because you already admitted that what you're saying was not true. So you don't even believe what is being said about this woman. So I don't know for what belief they were trying, like you don't have a belief, you don't believe this, you don't think it's true, you don't agree with it. So the fact that you're going to sit here and say there is a machine coming after you because of your belief, your personal belief, is a problem because you literally said you don't believe this. Well, let's just do allegedly there because I don't have the video to play it. Her videos all came down. You knew you were lying allegedly, so I don't know what personal belief you're talking about. Then you go on to then you go on. Tasha K then goes on to say the music industry is harming the black community and how the black community is at a standstill and people are just attacking the black community through the music industry. And I'm like, okay, period. True. I mean, I'm with you. They really out here, the music industry is degrading our community, blah, 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 blah. I'm with you. All of it. True, 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 and true. I don't know what that got to do with any of what's going on. You lied on someone, you lied about someone's health, someone's sexual health, you lied about, like, I don't understand how you are making this out to be some social justice movement where you are in the driver's seat of this this movement to help the black community. Like I don't know what the, like who are you helping, who are you fighting for? Someone said MLK. Like at what point do you realize this is not about the music industry? And even if it is, well, big whoop. Like, you made comments about someone, you lied about someone, and I don't understand how you don't understand how that could be a problem. She lost major credibility this. Yeah, she did. Like, even for me, like, I'm listening to her and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be easy on you because that's not okay. You literally could have just taken. By the way, thank you. Who was that? Let me see who that was. Um, I think that was Mariam K. Mariam. Thank you so much. Um, Demas, I'm heading out for my B-Day dinner. I just know you're about to go in on this one. Have a great evening, everyone. Noble B, thank you so, so much. Happy birthday. I would sing happy birthday to you, but my voice is a mess. Have fun, have fun, have fun. I knew you would be here if you could. Happy birthday, by the way. Um, so yeah, so this is not some social justice movement. Does this have to do with your case? Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. She even went to that she had to be the one to protect children, and I'm very much confused as to, maybe she's saying she needed to take Cardi B down because Cardi B represents the mal in the music industry. Cardi B is being used as a vehicle to impact people in the community in a negative way. So she had to take Cardi B down. Therefore, it is her against the machine because she was trying to save the Black community by taking Cardi B down. If that is what you are saying, I'm gonna need you to step all the way back, like just like back all the way up, because that's not fear. You do not get to grab all of the social justice movement and ideas and all of that and shoehorn that into your your lawsuit, right? Like, you don't get to do that. You don't get to talk poorly about people, lie about people, spread misinformation, and then somehow think that is okay because you are doing it to protect the Black community. No, absolutely not. I'm not standing with that. I I appreciate everything that she said about the music industry and the impact it's having on the Black community. I agree. I am sad to say that you have not helped in any way that I've seen, but also, even if you did, this is not the moment. This has nothing to do with what the music industry is doing to the Black community. Sure, we should have that conversation. We can, it's fine, whatever, but you lied on someone about their sexual health, and you admitted allegedly that it was a lie. You knew it was a lie and you lied to go viral. You didn't say you lied to help the Black community take down this big Goliath person who is impacting the community. That's not what you said. You said, allegedly, you did it to go viral. You did this to boost your channel. You did this for money. Like, you don't get to then change why you did it. And it's unfortunate because she keeps saying, I'm going to fight this good fight and it's me against the machine. Okay, well, you're going to keep fighting that machine, but we are not going to help you. We are not going to support your fight for the machine because you cannot use lie and treachery and then expect people to back you in that. That's not okay. That is not okay. And let me just step back for a moment and do a little bit of commentary, a little bit of commentary, as if that's not what I'm doing now. I do not dislike Tasha K. I don't know personally anyone who speaks the way Tasha K speaks, but I think she is a talented orator. Whatever look, I, this is not a bashing moment. I think she is a talented content creator. I mean, it's a bit kind of in the gutter for my taste. Like, I like every now and then I'll like peek in to see what is happening, but like I am not the person for that kind of content. But the fact that she built such a platform means that there are people who look who love it, right? Like, we all like some trash sometime, right? And I'm not saying she's trash, just FYI. I'm saying the category and the way in which it's kind of trashy, in my opinion. I'm gonna get flagged for that, and it is what it is. That is my opinion that I actually believe, so I'm gonna say it. However, She is extraordinarily talented. I sat and watched her speak for like 2 hours, and I was captivated for the entire 2 hours. I felt weird afterwards because I thought, oh God, I just listened to people opine about other people's life that they definitely don't know about. But she's a talented orator. She exemplifies something of a Wendy William during radio kind of caricature. And I'm thinking she's playing that persona up for the camera, and she's really good at it. Like, she is extraordinarily talented at it, I think. I would not want to present in that way, but I recognize that people, yeah, someone said entertaining as a, yeah, I recognize that that's something that is entertaining, even for me, someone who is like, oh, I'm above that, I'm above that. I watched and I was like thoroughly entertained. Um, so I recognize that she's talented. That's my opinion. And she is charismatic. Someone said, yeah, I'm skipping the negative comments intentionally. Um, but I think there comes a time when we have to be responsible with the ways that we go about doing things. And I don't think this was such a harsh thing. Obviously, the amount of money she has to pay is a lot. And I don't know if she has that money. She said she has it, so it's fine. I don't know why you would sacrifice your credibility and your channel to double down in a kind of arrogance, right? Like, just accept that you were wrong. And you know you were wrong if, in fact, you took a stand and you said you lied intentionally and you didn't care and this was for going viral. If you said that, if you said that, then I think at some point we have to acknowledge that, well, you were wrong. And you have to acknowledge that you were wrong. Someone said not going full Trump. Someone said exactly. I don't know who that person is. That is not me. Um, Oh, by the way, if you guys are trying to figure out my personal life or anything like that, please be careful because someone sent me a screenshot of someone else's address that they thought was mine, and I feel bad for whoever that person is. I feel bad for whoever that person is. That is not me. I'm sorry to that man. I don't know that man. But yeah. Anywho, y'all are wilding. Um, so Tasha K is trying to position this as her against the machine. It's her against the music industry. It's her against the world. Everyone is wrong and she is right. I don't think that is the best strategy. Her subscriber count seems to imply that that is not the best strategy. Um, um, I think that her plan is to make more money with the aftermath of book, perhaps. I mean, honestly, if there is an audience for it, people will do it. I don't think it's always ethical, but I just think that she needs to like at least take some accountability. She said something in her video that I thought was profoundly important. Um, she said that she makes the news. And I found that interesting when she said she made the news, because one would think if you're a commenter, if you comment on news and if you report news, you would say something to the effect of you report on news. But I found it interesting that she said she, over here, they make the news. And I was like, yeah, you might not want to be making, you might not. You might not want to be making news. It was a very odd. I'm probably reading too much into this, so I'm going to leave it alone. It was a very odd thing to say, I think, to be saying, I make the news. Um, Yeah, that essentially that was my reaction. I was like, yeah, that's the problem. If you think if you're making news, that's not great. That's not great. Um, she said she was gonna take it all the way to the Supreme Court. All right, this is funny. This is kind of funny. Like Tasha K. I still have tremendous respect for you. I think anyone who can build, uh, no, actually, because I don't have any respect for Kevin Samuel. So, uh, essentially, the fact that you build that platform in this world, I feel like you have something of value. I think you're extraordinarily talented, but you guys need to know when you're at the end of your road, girl. Because if you have an attorney who is telling you that they're going to help you get this to the Supreme Court, that attorney might just be looking for money. Look, I don't know the attorney. I'm not saying that this is real or not real or whatever, but if I were you and my attorney's like, yes, we should fight it, I will take it all the way to the Supreme Court, I would fire that attorney. I'm not telling you to fire your attorney. Nothing I say is legal advice, but the Supreme Court is very selective on the on the cases they hear per year, right? And a writ of look, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not any attorney who is like telling you like we're gonna bring this to the Supreme Court is not working in your best interest. I don't know if you're the one pushing, saying we're gonna go to the Supreme Court, girl. After the Sullivan case, I'm not sure the Supreme Court is going to be interested in hearing this particular case. Now, I could be wrong, right? It could be a shark in a flock that you're like, hey, period. I want to hear this and I want to make new rules regarding um, Tasha K, right? And I want to create new precedent based on Tasha K's appeal. Look, you could be right. You could be very much right. I doubt it, but it is what it is. Demons and Toast, you have the respect for Tasha K that I hold for Candace Owens. No, I mean look, let's do so before I move on to the next story. Would you have taken this case? Absolutely not. If if I all right, how do I put this? I would take the case, but if I'm being honest, if my client, by taking the case, I think you meant would I take this to court? And I would not take this to court. I would absolutely not take this to court. And the reason, unless I didn't see Tasha K's video where she's confessing, and she has a ton of video, so maybe I wouldn't see it because I didn't even know about this until after the verdict when my friends showed me that she was like, oh, Tasha K has been saying she knew this was a lie, blah, blah, blah. And if I saw those videos where she's saying, oh, I know this is a lie, then I would say, okay, Tasha K, you're my client, period, period, period. Yeah, we're going to settle. We're going to settle and you're going to apologize for making things up about people. That would have been my approach. We would not, I promise you, be in court. No, I'm not going to look stupid in front of a court with my client having video evidence of her saying she knew. Like the hardest part of a defamation case when we talk about a public figure is to prove actual malice, right? It is very difficult to prove actual malice, right? It is not that difficult if your client is out here saying she lied and she knew she lied and that Cardi B didn't deserve fame and she was like no and have over 40 no, absolutely not. Like you're not going to take the part of the case that is the easiest for me to win on your side. You're going to pull the rug from under my feet. No, I'm not. No. We're not going to fight that. We're going to just accept that you were wrong, we were wrong, and we're going to figure out how to pay the least amount of money. Because a lot of the time we think about attorneys as weapons to fight our battles and make us win. But sometimes attorneys are there to lessen the blow of you being wrong, right? Sometimes attorneys are there to negotiate your surrender. And Cardi B should have surrendered. Um, Yeah, someone said Tasha gave Cardi that verdict on a silver platter. Yeah, that's my interpretation. That is. I would love your opinion on some of these recent criminal cases. I like the fact that you guys are bad, like the legal breakdown. Usually, no one watches my legal breakdown because they're boring. No one have time for my legal breakdown. Tasha gave Cardi that verdict. Oh, I just read that. Mm-mm. No worries, Elle. Hello again. All right. So now we're gonna get into this Elle article. By the way, actually, I'm gonna drop the link and I'll get the first five people who wanna come on. If you guys want to talk to like an avatar, please come on. I'm gonna say the first five people. The first five people. I'm gonna cut it off at five, um, and we will talk to the first five people, and then we'll move on to the L article. The L article that caused a ton of people to be like upset, cross, angry, miserable. All right. So we have concerned is the first one. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you feeling?
I am doing well. I'm doing well.
I am looking forward to break to
You said what? Oh, I can you hear me?
I can hear you. Let me come off of my Wi-Fi.
All right. Someone said Tasha K should be in the process of rebranding. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who wrote that. I don't know who wrote that for her. I'm sorry to that person, but that was just not it. Like I was so turned. I watched it and I was like, I don't. Even if I wanted to spin this to help you, I could not. Like you literally did not take account. Like if you admit that you were wrong, if you admit that you lied, then you are wrong. Like if you lied on a person, regardless of how horrible you think that person is, then you don't get the right to sit there and think you are justified in quote unquote protecting the black community from Cardi B. I know you don't. You don't get to lie on someone about their sexual health. It's not okay. You don't that's wrong. That is wrong. I will always do my Bunty-Killer voice.
And kind of on that point too, it's like if you're concerned about the Black community's image, why attack her sexual health? I feel like how she decided to go after Cardi B is also telling about the malice. Like everything you're saying about your justifications and your righteousness is strange.
I agree. By the way, if there is anyone here who would like to defend Tasha K, please feel free to come on. I would love a good defense. Demas, I was looking forward to seeing your glowing skin this evening. Oh, I've been overworked and stressed out. There's nothing glowing about me. I'm gonna go to the dermatologist this weekend, so when I come back, I will be hopefully glowing. But yeah, Karina.
Hi.
Hey, are you defending Tasha K?
Oh, stop. We don't have time to defend nonsense over here. Stop this. I am so happy to be like making one of your lives and to like be honest. I'm so excited. So I know I can't actually see you, but hi, viewers. Um, I think that to be honest, I love that phrase that you have. I think some people really enjoy being what is it, cross, angry, and miserable. Some people enjoy that in life,
I
and
feel like
they walk around.
Buntikula is gonna sue me for that phrase. It's not mine, but yeah.
Oh, whose phrase is it?
Bounty Killer. It's a
Oh
Jamaican
no,
artist.
I knew it was familiar. Oh my god, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was thinking, I'm sure I've heard this phrase somewhere before. We gotta give him credit. But anyway, that being said, yes, I really agree with you in terms of what you were saying in terms of her followers. So it's like, yeah, if it took the verdict, like you said, for you to unfollow her, then know you're trash anyway. Because I do feel like it's obvious. Like I personally, I don't know. I saw that whole lovely tea like debacle thing. I didn't really know who Tasha K was. I heard about her through that whole thing, and when I just kind of assessed the situation, I was like, okay, this lady's kind of clearly a little bit messy. Like, it's whatever. I just didn't follow. I just kind of was aware of her, and that was that. So I
Yeah.
do feel like basically like people like her, they attract a certain type of following. And then it's okay, like we all have a certain messy side of us. So like I'm not gonna judge anyone that's like kind of follows her, but I do think that the stage that we're at now in terms of I don't see how anyone can really be defending her. It's really just like it is what it is. I definitely think she's clutching at straws. I've even watched her video, like her fighting for justice rubbish. I just think that these days everybody's trying to co-opt, the whole like protest movement for any way which like for their own personal gain. And I definitely think that's gonna fall flat on its face. And that sounds like what she's trying to do in this video that you described.
Yeah.
But I'm just really excited to be on the live and just as no to all of this, guys. Like I just feel like we need to kind of and what's the thing they say? Energy flows where your attention goes, basically. And I just think that if we don't pay, these certain content creators like attention, people that do thrive off toxicity and like enjoy like spreading lies and things like that about people, then like we wouldn't be here today, and this whole thing wouldn't be a mess. So I just think that we should like, devote our time to more sensible platforms that actually have something to offer the community, such as yours, Themis. And I think
Oh,
that's all I'm
thank
gonna say for
you.
now. So yeah.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate your voice here. Someone said, I don't want to defend Tasha. I just don't care about a Latina woman getting richer. Good for her, but Black women have their own issues that need discussing. Um, I get this and I appreciate this. I think for me, I I like the legal aspect of this a lot, right? And the reason why I want to talk about this is I think as content creators, some people can get carried away in um, building and getting views and going viral. And there comes a point for some people, Tasha K, it seems, where that becomes paramount as opposed to ethics, right? And one of the things that I will not do, and this is not to you, Carrie, but one of the things I will not do is abandon my ethics and moral compass and drive in order to build a platform. But when it comes to selecting what I talk about on this platform, I mean, it has always been a mixture of things. I think lately it has become kind of one-sided, one note. And the reason is because I find this to be, for me, one of the most important things to talk about and deal with and dissect when it comes to the Black community, which I belong to. But I think this is super important, and I do agree that she's not, well, I'm not even going to get into that. Anywho, let's continue.
I just wanted
Um,
to say really quickly, Themis, that I think you are, and this happens a lot with Black creators, I feel like Black content creators, you are a multifaceted human being. And I feel like while you have like strong ties and like you really are like there for, Black womanhood and stuff like that, I do obviously the legal aspect, of course, this case is going to be interesting to you and stuff like that. I just feel like very much, I'm sure you can relate to when like I think for Harriet kind of, like to expand her content and talk about all these other, and I just think that it just makes sense. To me, basically, this conversation makes sense for me for you to be having. And I definitely don't think we're here like celebrating a Latina woman making money off a Black woman. No, we're discussing like the legality of the situation and like just seeing like we need to do better. Like, do you know what I mean? People like we can all learn from this. Like, I feel like anyone,
yeah.
race regardless, can learn from this situation. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Someone had a legal question. This nothing I say is legal advice, by the way. Tasha K also said that she would have taken the negative videos down if Cardi B had paid her for the loss of revenue. Isn't that extortion or bribery? Well, it wouldn't be bribery. I get the inclination to think it might be extortion. It would not, if she is legally allowed to have it up, right? Um, when we think about extortion, it's an unlawful extraction of money or property through some level of intimidation, right? Extortion was originally complement of like bribery, but she was legally allowed to have it up, right? And even in her video, she said the court never told her to take it down, but she did it out of respect for the court. So if I am legally allowed to do something and you don't want me to do it, and I ask you to pay me to stop doing something, that seems like a regular contract. Now, obviously, I'm not reading the extortion law right now, but that would be sort of my inclination. She could do that. I mean, it's not it's not good faith. Let's just say that. But I mean, if she owns the content, she's legally doing. Well, I mean, I guess it's not legal because it was wrong, but but yeah. Anywho, thank you both. Now we're gonna get to this L. Before you guys go, do you guys have anything you want to say before you leave?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
just
thought we
wanted
were
to.
gonna.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, because it's on the same topic, like Themis, I don't know if you found out. Was her lawyer actually specialized in the right field? I heard somewhere
Oh,
that the lawyer was actually. I just wanted to get that
I,
confirmation from you because I trust your
so
opinion. Like, yeah.
yeah. Okay. I have decided when it comes to attorney qualification that I would not speak to what I believe. I I've
Good
seen
answer.
I've seen some things that would make me really doubt whether or not this person was equipped for this case, but I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not going to make a judgment on the attorney because he's a what am I talking about? Attorneys, we are part of a profession, and I try, at least on my end, to not speak poorly of other attorneys unless like outside of their field.
Of
Like,
course, yeah, no. So all I heard was just that I think she was specialized in like family law or something else rather than whatever this category was. That's just all I heard. Not to throw shade on her actual, qualifications or anything, but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and what I wanted to ask or add is, I thought we were gonna go through the blog post together. That's what I came up here to do, just to be able to comment on that. I thought that was the plan.
wait, what blog post? The L blog.
The Elle article or whatever.
I mean, you guys can definitely stay up for that because we're about to go into it.
Okay, perfect.
LB,
I came on because I had a question and I was working, so typing's not fun right now. So what I wanted to know is with say she did actually make that contract with her, wouldn't it still be subject to like being thought on the grounds of duress? Like Cardi could say she was under duress when she made the contract with her if she had agreed to that.
so yeah, duress is a means for which, like it's a way to sort of dismantle a contract, right? It's a way to
Yeah.
dissolve a contract. Um, it is. It would. I would need, based on these facts, I would say no. If you entered into a contract based on this. I recognize that Cardi talked about feeling like she wanted to, you know what, let's not say it here, because so many people kept talking about her and saying she had this and she had that.
Hmm.
I don't personally believe her. This is
Yeah,
just
I
me. I'm
don't.
sorry.
She don't care.
Um, so I think a lot of these celebrities have thicker skin, but what I can appreciate, however, is that what I can appreciate from her is using the moment to highlight that she was feeling bad and the emotional distress to up her sort of damages. Timus, extortion is a crime of obtaining something from someone, especially money, by using force or threat. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. There was no threat, like unless the video is being up is illegal. Now, there is a colorable argument to say this was illegal because, well, it wasn't illegal in the strictest sense of the word. So if I have a video up where I'm talking about, I don't know, Kevin Samuels, and Kevin Samuels said, take that video down. And I said, absolutely not. If you want me to take the video down, you have to pay me for it. That is not extortion. Like, you can pay me to behave differently than I would normally behave. That I am offering it to you seems tacky, and I would never do something like that. But it seems tacky, but it's not. It would not fit neatly into extortion. It is my platform. I'm putting things on my platform. If you want it down, you can pay me to take it down. Again, I would never do that, but it wouldn't. No, it would not be extortion. You go, can someone say they were represented so poorly in court that they should be allowed another day in court?
They can do that, right?
Yeah, so so when your counsel is inadequate, like it is a difficult thing to win. Um, there is a case that I cannot remember the name where an attorney fell asleep in the middle of the trial, and the Supreme Court held that it was fine. That not that it was fine, but that you did not have poor enough representation to warrant a retrial or to sue your counsel. So I mean, it is a very hefty bar, and part of the reason is your judges generally are lawyers. The policymakers in DC are lawyers. And so what's happening is, I probably shouldn't be saying this. In my opinion, what is happening is that these people are protecting themselves. It is what it is. The lawyers are gonna protect the lawyers, and the lawyers going to make it very difficult for regular people to sue their lawyers for insufficient sort of counsel. Sorry, my brain is going a million miles per hour. Um, Again, none of this is legal advice. I have to keep saying that because, period. Um, do you guys have anything else before we move on?
No.
Yeah, I wish I'm a horrible person. I wish I'd remember that case because it's one of those really big cases that everyone in law school should remember, but I just don't remember it because it's such a weird fact pattern that, like, how are you gonna fall asleep and I can't sue you?
Wait, so
Let's.
if it makes you feel any better, I learned it last year and I don't remember the name of the case.
Oh, so all right, so someone here confirms it, so it's
Yeah,
true.
it's a real thing.
All right, good, good, good. I forgot the name of the case, and
I'm gonna look
that
for
is
it.
quite embarrassing right now. Um, shouldn't she have pleaded the fifth to not incriminate, and why is she making statement that can be used against her in another trial? Okay, I'm glad you asked this question because this is really important. So your Fifth Amendment right comes in a criminal trial, right? This is a civil trial. So if you plead the fifth, right, it is to prevent yourself prevent yourself from being incriminated. And there is no incrimination here because this is not a criminal trial, it is a civil trial. I hope that made sense.
It
um
did. It did.
which is interesting
Famous,
because
we need
in
like law 101 with you. Like this really should be a thing. Like I'm loving this whole conversation. But anyway, carry on.
right. It's funny because you can in fact plead the fifth in a civil case if you could incriminate yourself in a later criminal case. And it's interesting because I've actually seen it happen. And in my mind, obviously couldn't do it like there, but I just busted out laughing in my head. And if you know me, you know I can't control my laughter, so I had to go to the bathroom. Because it implied that this person was guilty of a crime. So in a civil case, they were like, I plead the fifth. They're like, you can't plead the fifth. This is a civil case. And they were like, no, I'm pleading the fifth. I know what the fifth is. And they're like, oh, I got it. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. There's nothing funny about that. I just found it really funny. Um, da 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 da. All right, so let's get to the L. I think that was last thing. Hence why OJ was found liable in the film. I have a lot of opinions on OJ in that case, but
I was gonna say, isn't this the same little loophole that they use with the whole I can't remember his name. Everyone's American dad, the black guy, the you know what I'm
Oh,
talking about.
it
Yeah.
starts
Bill
with a
Cosby,
C.
Bill
Yeah, isn't this kind
Cosby.
of the loophole they used? Yeah, because like he admitted a bunch of stuff and settled with some stuff, and then they now try to like use that in the criminal. I feel like it's a similar
Okay,
loophole.
yeah, no, that is literal perfection. Yes. So I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah, I
was
understood
used
it.
in the reverse, obviously, with the reverse in that. So he was given a thing called immunity. right? Essentially. And in that immunity, now you cannot, like, if you get immunity, you no longer can plead the fifth. That means you now have to confess to everything, because all of that will be covered under whatever immunity you, well, not whatever, but the immunity you were granted, right?
And what
Now,
court? What courts would he do that in? Because I think that was civil, right? That was like a separate kind of
yeah,
court
that
case
was
that
a
one.
civil case, so he was fine. And then they went back and then brought a criminal case against him, and the court ruled that absolutely not. You don't essentially trick someone into confessing and then use the confession as a means for a prosecution. Absolutely not. You, that would be absolutely wrong. I agree with this, by the way. I don't think we should incentivize the government um, to behave badly. It's why I agree with things like your Miranda rights, reading out, having to read your Miranda rights when you're arrested. Like, those things are in place because, in my mind, the government is the big bad system, and the people needs protection, more protection from the government. Unfortunately, Bill Cosby, I think, did a bunch of things that he shouldn't have done, and so I wish he met justice, but I'm not willing to get someone to justice through sort of um, bad actions by the system. Absolutely not. Nope. Dean says, I blame Olga. I don't know. Timus, I'm a court clerk and I love to sit in a court with you on the bench. Oh, if I were on the bench, I'm just telling everyone to. I'd love to attempt to debate that. Wait, debate what? Oh, come on. I've not had a good debate in a while. I'm kind of sick, so you might actually win today. My brain is like all over the, like I literally all over the place. All right, let's get to the Elle article. Um, Jay, you can come on. I think the link is there. Please come on. Whatever you want to debate, you can debate. I am here for a good debate. Just no hurt feelings afterwards. Can we get a show on inflation and the federal? Oh, inflation is at
Please.
7%. And I'm sitting here like, wait, if this goes over 8%, if inflation, I think a lot of people don't recognize how dire the situation is currently because it's not showing up in the price of goods in the supermarket yet, or at least not in a meaningful way. I think the point at which it starts, we're gonna have a rude awakening. I am hopeful that we get this under control. I don't think pumping all that money into the economy is going to be helpful in the long term, but like my God. Um, I actually should call some of my like finance friends to come speak on this. But anyway,
I would
let's move
love that, actually. Is there any way that you could do that just as a pin for later? That would be really helpful.
Yes, remind me. The problem is, I feel like this is like the Fresh and Fit survey when they survey their audience for like, do you guys want to do finance or drag black women? And they were like finance, but no one actually watched the finance video.
Okay, I think in order, law vids first for me personally, and then finance first come secondary. But the law stuff, oh, Venus.
Yeah, the law stuff I like. The finance stuff I hate it, but I have to do it because I'm a man, a person. I was gonna be a man in America, a person in America. Hi, Themis. I'm a black man from Portugal. Just found your channel last week, and you already became my favorite YouTuber. Sorry for my English; it's not my first language. Oh, you spoke very well. Thank you so much. I love messages like this. Thank you. I appreciate that. I need this sort of external validation sometimes, especially when I'm sick. And I actually am not being facetious. Um, I don't know how to debate. I need your YouTube lessons. Oh, all right. I don't think I understand this fully, but all right. All right, let's move on now to the Elle article. I'm gonna play the intro to just to like break the segment, and then we'll come back and get into the Elle article. Someone said LB is really pretty. I just wanted to put that out there that someone said that. Um,
Oh, thank you.
oh, before we play the Elle article, actually, I have a treat. Guys, ready for this treat?
Ready.
All right. I'm so wrong for this. I'm so wrong for this. All right.
Oh Lord, my standards to be with you. You know, that's what they do, right? But what's the real reality? We don't want to talk about a lot of men are lowering their standards.
Ew.
Ah, he said.
What
I
have we
mean,
done to make them this bold? No, like
He said.
which
He
men?
said.
wow.
He said a lot
Yo.
of men are lowering their standards. I don't think you are one of those men.
How much standards have we lowered to allow them? Look at him to be so bold. Wow, it's shocking.
And here's my thing. It's
To
not
be
even only that he's unattractive. It is that he is such a random and mean-spirited person who doesn't seem to be like he just like there's no leadership in any of the things I've ever heard come out of his mouth. He just seems like he wants to do the right thing and then he cowers back. Like it's just mm, mm.
Wait, side
Is
note,
that
who
your
is this?
assessment of him as like a content creator? Like, so you've seen his content before?
I have seen reactions to his content. I have seen one or two of his videos, the beginning, and then I was like, ah, but I have a short attention
This
span.
is my
It,
first time knowing this man existed on Earth, so that's why I'm just like, whoa. So okay, thank you
So
for your okay, cool.
the video
Mm.
says the title of the video is Black Men Are Being Treated Like Kings by Colombian Women, and this is why they are marrying them. All right, I'm not even going to get into this. I kind of just um I was gonna play some of this, but I said I was gonna be on for an hour and 30 minutes because like I'm actually at my family home. But I the I'm not going to play any more of it. And the reason I'm not going to play any more of it is because it's just ridiculous. And it speaks to, and I was trying to lead into the Elle article, but I'm just going to go to the Elle article because at this point, it's just, I mean, they just set themselves up for this, honestly. Um, First and foremost, by the way, I don't think this Elle article was an attack piece. I think it was very soft actually in I was looking for where they mentioned Kevin Samuels. Um I think it was really soft. I don't think she ended it in the exact way I ended part one of my whatever I was gonna do. It felt unfinished, is what I'm saying. Like this felt really unfinished. Does anyone
We're
here with
still
a
waiting for you
good
to drop part
voice?
two, Themis. We're still waiting. We're still waiting for part two to drop.
It
Mhm.
won't come out. Um, someone said, in the words of Themis, I can't. Um, does anyone want to read this? Because I'm not a reader. I'll read the first paragraph and then someone else can jump in.
Popcorn, yeah.
Yeah, let's do popcorn reading. I believe a woman. Where am I? Let me make sure this is. So this is my brush with with the Black Manosphere. Nicole Young, and it goes. I believe women are hypergamous. It's an observable fact. My date declared matter of factly as we stared at each other across the abyss of Zoom. People are really out here dating on Zoom.
Mm-mm.
About an hour earlier, when the evening started going downhill, I began writing down the words I didn't understand, but knew I'd heard before. So I added hypergamous to the list. His previous mention of peer bonding, high value man, and dominant masculinity all sounded ominously familiar as well. I can't believe people are actually having these conversations on dates. It feels really awkward. Like
It
these
kills
men,
me. It kills
it
me.
feels like these
I've
people don't
had a
have.
conversation like this.
It
I've
feels like these
I've
people don't have things to say. Like, is this your whole life? Like, I don't know. Anyway, so concern, do you want to continue?
Sure. In the end, my date, let's call him King, and I talked
Petty.
talked for nearly 3 hours. King explained that I was behaving in a masculine way when I invited him to meet me for a date, instead of waiting for him to ask me. Claimed it was a biological fact that in any romantic relationship, someone who's cisgender and male, of course, needed to dominate the other, and feminism was a force that had only served to divide the Black community and alienate Black men. That last part came after I revealed that I'm a feminist, and something he told me he usually complete is usually a complete non-starter for him. Side note, I have had a similar conversation before on a date. I can do a story here in a
Mhm.
second if you'd like.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, we have 15 minutes, so yes, but continue. You can stop. You can do it now. Give us a story now.
Oh, it wasn't even really a date. I was on Hinge and I was talking to this guy. I mean, he seemed nice enough, but then he proceeded to share that I don't have any children. It's nothing wrong with having children, but I don't have any children. He shared that he had kids and he was working it out with the mother of his child, but everybody's against him and the family doesn't like him. His family's upset with him. All the above. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then he was like, um and I was he was just talking about how like nobody likes a high value like people don't respect high value men, and I heard high value man and I was just like, oh.
Absolutely not. No, I don't want to
What's
hear
high
anymore.
value about him? Who
I'm
values
done.
him?
I'm
So
No,
over
he
his
it.
child
Nope.
listed
doesn't.
some,
Family, clearly, no one values him in his community. So what does he mean?
right, he was like, I have all, and this is what they all think, right? It's like they're all like, well, I trade, I I have this
Wait,
job from in the morning to
you,
night, and I am an entrepreneur.
okay.
I'm trying to buy this house. It's like a list of things.
Okay, when he said I trade, you should have said trade what? It's not stocks and bonds. Um, it was like I don't understand these conversation. Like, who goes in front of someone and be like, "Oh, they don't value a high value." The girl, I don't got time for you.
Demas,
Your
do you know what I
value.
realized? Do you know what I
Go ahead.
realized? You know that second paragraph that Concern just read, yeah? I was like, wait, hold on. He said that she basically was acting masculine in asking him to come out. Why did you go on the date with her? Doesn't that already like disqualify her from already being the person for you? You
Yeah,
just come to realize that, oh no, it's just so they can actually hate women and squash them down as much as possible. Because if they were
yeah.
going, but like already this date shouldn't be happening basically from the jump. Because you're telling her that, like, it's just mad to me. I just had a moment like, wow.
But I'll
Yeah.
piggyback off of that and say that I think that that's really the point. They want to put themselves in the position of being the benevolent one that's giving you poor little you a chance because you're so low. It's a way for them to puff themselves up because these guys are not. I mean, I unmatched him, so it's like this guy like the like soon after that. So it's like for me, it's like I don't see these guys likely to be getting a lot of dates unless they have a lot of money. So I do think they're more invested than they're letting on.
Timus, can you do a commentary on this separate from the live? Can I make a video? Essentially, is what you're saying. Um, I am gonna say yes. I'm gonna do that for you. Hopefully, one of the moderators remind me of this. And I will upload it outside of my regular upload schedule. But yeah. Um, Go ahead. Next person read. It was like
Okay, I'm excited. Okay,
I,
it was
oh,
like, oh sorry, oh LB, is it
no,
you?
no,
Oh sorry.
no.
Okay, thank you.
You're fine.
Um,
Um,
ex- um, it was like the trolls I saw skulking around the edges of Black Twitter had jumped up from under their Technicolor bridges and wandered directly into my dating life. The sirens clanging in my head throughout this entire ordeal bleated out one word over and over again: incel. Retreat! For months, I had seen similar words and themes being used on social media. On Twitter, men that wield a particular animus against Black women are sometimes derogatively called nigcels, And that was my first time hearing this word, guys. I never knew this word before this article.
Yeah,
I
me
had to
neither.
find out how the languages of chads and hypergamy, both terms I associated with white men on the internet, the latter a claim that women only date men of higher social status, had mapped onto the world of black men.
By the way, this notion that women only date women are hypergamous um is true generally, not as applied to black women, which is the weird thing. Like, oh my God, how do you complain that women are hypergamous? You cannot make that complaint while also saying feminism is bad. Like, you can't. If you are
All the tenets of the Black Manosphere, Demas, as you show us week on week on week, they're all straw man arguments because they just don't fit that. They just don't fit the image that they're trying to even portray. Like literally
I mean,
speaking.
one side of the manosphere is saying your standards are too high. The other one is your standards are too low. You're dating dusters. That's why you're single mothers. And it's like, okay, girl, pick a
Don't get a
side.
degree. Don't get a degree.
Yeah, like pick a side. You cannot say you cannot treat hypergamy as something negative while also arguing that feminism is bad, right? Like at least that part of feminism where women can contribute is good, right? Because if you're saying women wanting men to provide for them is a bad thing, it's a negative thing, then you are adopting a feminist mindset.
Mhm.
Can
And
I
it's
I
say
mean,
something on
the reason
hypergamy?
why it's convoluted, by the way, the reason it's convoluted is because these people are taking ownership of narratives that do not belong to them. Like, you can't be mad at the quite kind of white feminist. You can't be
And they're
mad.
mixing it up a little bit with the religious thing of submission. They're just mixing up,
Yeah,
just making a whole word salad out of rubbish.
yeah, like you are cherry picking these things, and when you look at the principles, like it's okay to accept that there are parts of feminism that you disagree with. I'm going to ask you which part because apparently y'all don't know what feminism is, but it's okay to say, okay, I disagree with this part, but it feels like there's no nuance in the ways in which we engage in the conversation about what you like and dislike. Because on one hand, these people are like, oh, you should be able to go. And part of the video that I was going to show earlier with Oshay Duke Jackson is this him saying like these women are trained to value men, so they go to work and they come home and they still perform their wifely quote unquote duties, which include cooking, cleaning, and blah blah blah. Now I'm like, okay, no, you want something that you don't earn because unless you are the provider and this person is staying at home and being the person who takes care of the home, then if you both are contributing economically to the household, then it's more of an egalitarian kind of situation. Like it is what it is. Like I mean, sure. I'm not telling any woman or man how to structure their relationship. Do what makes you happy, whatever. If you want to work and 10 to 10 and come home after being an accountant, a lawyer, surgeon as a woman, and cook, clean, and feed a man. I'm actually not saying this is bad. I don't care. Do you? I have a problem with you demanding it as a man when you go out into the world and work. You expect her to go out into the world and work, then you are not a traditional man, and that's fine. So you don't get to make her into a traditional woman and also contribute to the heart. No, absolutely not. No, that's
And
not
I'd
true.
like to pose that maybe we're overestimating how researched they are. Like you said, egalitarian. I don't think they would even connect that. I think that to be honest, it sounds like they hear something they like that they can put into an argument and then they put it together. They don't do the research to think about the people who have done the sociology, done the psychology, done the whatever research to think about to figure out what were the fruits of these ideas to even make a meaningful choice between feminism and traditionalism or whatever. I think that they hear a sentence that they don't even know the name of the argument or the place they I think that they're really just picking up ideas that sound good as they go along because yeah there's no long-term thinking in anyone I've listened to, where they start talking about, okay, there are places that these things have existed in. What were those results?
My dear concerned, I'm so concerned that you are so correctly right. Like, you're so spot on that you don't even understand it. When I tell you the chopping and changing, and they don't know they don't know actually what they're actually aiming for. And I think that the reality is and the funny thing I was going to say, when you mention these things to them on Clubhouse, they say, hey, we're not trying to talk about all that statistics shit. We're not trying to talk about sociology. When you actually try and actually confront them with something, they actually say that they don't want to take it there. But it's like, but you're trying to make a political statement. You're trying to say that you have a valid thing. Like, you like that doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense, honestly. They don't. Yeah, honestly,
I
it's
mean,
right.
ultimately, like, it's why black men would go around quoting the Moynihan report. Like, the only reason you would do that is because you don't understand the context, and you heard there's a part of it that said we need more black-led household, black male-led household, right? So you hear a snippet that said the black men need to be patriarchal in the black community again. You hear that, and you run around quoting it and talking about welfare kicked you out of the home, when that's not what the report says. And what they're talking about, that you miss the context of that little men should be leaders, black men should be leaders in their community. They're saying black men aren't being leaders. It was very racist, actually. And, well, I don't know if I think the era was very racist, and it was saying that black men weren't actually doing what they needed to do and abandoned black women, and therefore the government had to step in and black men needed to come back and lead their communities. That's what it was saying. But because you didn't read anything, you didn't care about anything, you start quoting someone who was essentially dragging black men. Like, like, I've heard everyone in the manosphere like quoted, and I was working on this huge report, and then another content creator actually read it live, and I was like, crap. But yeah, like, a lot of people were just quoting it. Like, even on this channel, they would come on and be like, well, if you look to the Moynihan report, black women chose welfare, blah blah blah. I was like, okay, girl, period.
This just
You don't know what
proves
you're
that
talking about.
the Black Manosphere content creators. This proves that they're grifters. If that makes sense. Simply because simple Google searches, Themis, that like we don't have to go through like blocks of like having to be a higher institutions. Simple Google searches could like show them certain things, and they choose to like ignore it, and then they make. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like their content
Yeah.
creators are the biggest grifters that there are because they don't even try. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a thing I learned in an advertising class. I can't remember the name of it, so I guess we're all bad professionals today. But it's the idea of where you kind of barrage somebody with ideas. You give them too much. You give them information really, really quickly, and it wears down their decision making skills, and it weakens their resolve, and so it's
Yes,
easier
from
to
across the
feed them
pond,
ideas.
Brexit means Brexit. That's how it got done, bro. That stupid phrase. Just because somebody one day said Brexit means Brexit, therefore now we all start saying in our country, that's how Brexit happened. Can you imagine the stupidity?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's a really it's done all the time. And it's kind of it's a similar thing that happens when you're going into a store and there's so much there's glitter on the floor, and it's just information overload and sensory overload, and it weakens your defenses and your and so when we think about the ultimate goal, right? These guys are trying to have sex. So the ultimate goal is to shame you into doing whatever they would like in order for them to be able to have sex with you. Like, it's not like all of these men, I mean, some of them do actually hate women, but most of these guys would like to get laid more often. And so they don't actually want to turn women off or filter out any women at all. They would like to have as many women as possible, but they would like these women to be submissive at the very most.
Yeah.
And
Someone said bingo. I agree. So instead of finishing that article, I'm just gonna do that video and post it. Hopefully, again, one of the moderators remind me. One of the things I wanted to do, I'm gonna play a little bit of O'Shea Duke Jackson's response to the article, and let's hear this before I go. But here we go. Where is it?
from this community, it's not gonna show those things. You're always gonna get painted as some sort of hate group when it's not necessarily. That's not the truth. It isn't. So people who don't agree with you philosophically, you understand it, and I don't understand it, and I understand that. Then okay, you go over there, I go over here. It's better that way. Black feminists and those on the left, and there still are people, I love them. They should be allowed to have their own communities of people who want to think like them, and then respect the fact that you have other people who think differently than you. Because when you want to look for women who are saying these negative things about Black men, there's nobody writing articles on this. You know, like there's certainly, it's always going to be met with a lot of frustration. So to avoid that, I avoid the conversations with them completely.
That right there. So that's my problem. Avoiding the conversation completely because people just have different opinions and you don't want to engage with people with differing opinion. That essentially is what is happening. So we create these echo chambers where we get to be right because no one is challenging us and you don't want to talk to anyone. O'Shea was like, I don't debate people, blah 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 blah. Um, that's the weakness. Your argument can either stand or crumble when faced with opposition. And it's really strange to me that you would shut down interactions with people with a different philosophical framework than your own. I think that is horrendous. That is a very low frequency way to go about um, content creation, about advocacy, because he claims he advocates for the Black men and the Black community. It's very low, I think, and so I don't put much stock anymore in the way in which I create content reacting to O'Shea Duke Jackson, for example. And someone asked why I don't talk about Kevin Samuels anymore. I've decided, based on my review of what Kevin Samuels does, that he does not care. He's going to do what he's going to do because it works for him. And I don't think he has the kind of depth or credibility that people try to give him. I don't think he has the range to do more than what he's doing. So I'm actually bored listening to Kevin Samuels. I'm bored with O'Shea Duke Jackson. I'm bored with the Manosphere. I will continue to cover them, but I won't be covering.
Fantastic assessment there with the Kevin Sam. I'm right on. I really agree with you there. Really agree with you.
Yeah,
I
I
just
mean,
wanted to say sorry.
all Kevin
And
Samuels does is start from nothing, and then the people around him bolster it up, and no, it's not worth the mental energy, and then the anguish that people go through to listen. So, it is what it is. This is it. I'm gonna make up this live next week when I'm back. I promise, because this is ridiculous and my whole family is here trying to like have time with me, I guess, but I'm being annoying.
just promise us that when Kevin and all of the rest of them have their day, like we're seeing with Tasha, where they have to be accountable, that you'll cover it then.
Oh yes, I will definitely do it. Hopefully, well, let me not say that, but yes. And I'm not saying I'm done covering Kevin Samuels. Like if he does something
Girl, you know
outrageous,
if it happened, he would have done that for us anyway. You know damn well he would have done that for us. You know.
yeah. Someone
I
said
do.
I miss your face. Oh, thank you. I miss my face too. Like I watching. Apparently, like my facial expression is part of the show.
Yeah.
um, but I will be back next week, cammed up and all. I apologize. Again, I wish I had my camera. Have a wonderful night, guys. I'm so sorry.
Good night.
Um, they're giving you marching orders. Thank you guys so much. I just wanted to do a quick live today. I know it probably feels like bittersweet because like my lives are usually longer, and it's this one is going to be an hour and 30 minutes. So I really do apologize for that. I know I don't have to apologize, but I also like hanging out with you guys. So I'm trying to balance my time better. I wanted to let you guys know that there will not be a debate coming for the foreseeable future. We are working on that behind the scenes. It was a bit chaotic on my front. I take full responsibility for why the debate is not happening because I was just I I'm sorry, I just couldn't. I couldn't pull it together. Um, but hopefully the traveling stops and I will be speaking to my moderator soon who will be helping me going forward. So I'm very excited for that. I also will be trying to edit some of my live to publish parts of the live that I think are useful or good, separate from the live as a rerun. And I'll try to do that starting not like late next month. So hopefully that is of some use to you guys. But I want to say thank you all for the support. You guys are amazing. Um, I'm excited for what we're doing and where we're going. So thank you guys so much. I'm gonna feel better. I sound a little stuffy, and hopefully that will pass. But yeah, anything, LB?
No, nothing else. We're coming back to this topic next week, right?
Yes, yes. I'm gonna
Okay.
just do a better cover of the L because I kind of rushed through it because like my mom and my family
Fine.
are here. They're like, "Oh my God, so are you just gonna sit there and not come talk to us? Your radio voice probably sounds even more smooth with the little sickness. LOL. Let us hear it one more. No, and those who tried it. Your radio voice is amazing, but not mine. Lemon water with turmeric, Demus. Lemon water with turmeric. All right, I'm going to try that. I actually have turmeric and lemon water. All right, have a wonderful night, guys. I'm actually waving as if you guys can see see me.
I'll wait for
Bye.
you. Bye.